too. He was educated first in Berlin. Then he and his family fled Nazi Germany in 1939. He completed his education at Sydney and at Parramatta High Schools, took a degree in mechanical and electrical engineering at the University of Sydney, and in 1947 he became a partner in a major Sydney engineering company. He was a leading figure in Sydney's Jewish community. In 1969 he became a civic reform alderman on the Sydney City Council, then Deputy Lord Mayor in 1974, and finally Lord Mayor in 1975. In 1974, the Queen awarded him an MBE, largely in recognition of his outstanding work in planning Sydney's new parks and plazas. Among a host of people paying tribute to Leo Port today was Sir Kenneth Anderson, State President of the Liberal Party. Sir Kenneth said the late Lord Mayor's monument would be the city he gave back to the people. It's a great shame, he said, that he didn't live to see his visionary plans completed. Alderman Port was married with 3 sons in their 20s and a teenage daughter. Leo Port was a businessman politician who had successfully managed to divorce the two and remain aloof from any hint of the corruption and shady dealings that have marked other big city administrations at home and abroad. But today, less than 12 hours after his death, the respected newspaper The National Times carries a highly detailed account of certain business transactions involving the former Lord Mayor and 2 finance companies, which it claims raises questions about how business is done in the city. According to the National Times story, Alderman Port had an agreement with the finance companies FNCB Waltons and Industrial Acceptance Corporation, which were in turn deeply involved in property development in the city. The National Times alleges the agreement was for the Lord Mayor to assist in finding the optimum use for a 6-acre site in the heart of King's Cross, and to coordinate efforts to have that use approved by statutory authorities. The National Times claims that, according to internal company documents in its possession, Alderman Port was paid a total of $30,000 for the work of himself and a project team, and that he may have been paid as much as $43,000. The National Times reports that in one proposal made to the Lord Mayor, the remuneration and bonuses proposed could have totaled $200,000. The National Times says that its inquiries show that Alderman Port made no disclosure about the agreement to the Sydney City Council. The payment of undeclared gratuities is outlawed by 2 New South Wales statutes, the Local Government Act and the Secret Commission's Prohibition Act.
Members of Alderman Port's family have not yet responded to the story published by the National Times. A new pope has been elected as spiritual leader of the world's 700 million Catholics. The new pontiff is 65-year-old Albino Luciani, formerly Archbishop of Venice. He becomes the 263rd leader of the Catholic Church and is regarded as an open-minded moderate, but an anti-communist and strongly opposed to social reform such as divorce and abortion. The election of Pope John Paul I was signalled to the world by the traditional puff of smoke from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, although there was initial confusion whether the smoke was white, which signified that a pope had been elected, or black, which means the ballot is unsuccessful. But that was soon put right.
Habemus Papam. Eminentissimum ac reverendissimum Dominum Albinum Sancte Romane Ecclesiae Cardinalem Luciani.
In his first appearance as Pope, John Paul I called on God to bless all the peoples of the world.
Et benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maneat semper.
I will have more news in just a moment.
This is the Yukino. It gives you whipped cream whenever you need it, without the beating, without the waste. The Yukino is really simple to use. Pour in your cream, charge, give it a few shakes, and you and your family have got plenty of whipped cream whenever you want it, for desserts, cakes, coffee, iced chocolate. You can keep it in the fridge for weeks and use it anytime you need whipped cream. The super convenient Yukino is fully guaranteed. Yukino, whipped cream whenever you need it.
As a friend of all housewives and mothers, I am pleased to say there is still a store where you can be sure of honest value for every dollar you spend. Listen to Best and Less values this week.
Right at the start of the season, Best and Less has famous King G scoops for boys for $4.99. Lots of colours, $4.99. Men's short-sleeved sports shirts, permanent press in prints or bright checks at $4.99 and boxed for giving. Snap up a pair of quality walk socks for 99 cents. Cotton nylon stretch only 99 cents. And the buy of the season. Boys or girls shorts at $1.99 and T-shirts to go with them only $1.99. $1.99 the shorts, $1.99 the shirts. Great value for money.
Best and Less are doing a lot to help all housewives and mothers.
Scoops $4.99, shirts $4.99, socks 99 cents, shorts and T-shirts $1.99 each. Best and Less, all your money back. And don't forget, bank cards welcome.
You don't pay for any fancy overheads.
Legacy Week began today with the service of remembrance at the Garden Island Dockyard Church. Guest of honour at the service, which is held each year at the beginning of Legacy Week, was Rear Admiral J. Davidson, Flag Officer commanding the East Australian area. Admiral Davidson inspected a guard of honour of Naval Reserve cadets and spent some time chatting with young legatees before the service. Later in the day, out-of-town visitors who had come to Sydney for Legacy Week were treated to a barbecue lunch. The annual Legacy Button Day will be held next Friday. Memories of a war long past were revived in the skies over Bowral today. As more than 3,000 people looked on, the pilots of 2 Tiger Moth aircraft staged an aerial dogfight in much the same manner as the legendary Red Baron did battle with Britain's finest. A replica of the Red Baron's Fokker triplane was on display at today's air show but was not allowed to fly. So, what it may seem like heresy to some purists, a British-made Tiger Moth painted in German colours was pressed into service. The Bowral Air Show is a forerunner to a spectacular air race by 40 Tiger Moths to be held in New South Wales in October. Well, it's school holiday time again, as if you didn't know, and Bill Collins has been looking at films which may appeal to the younger generation. Bill?
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to comment about 4 programs this evening, 2 of them movies, 2 of them plays. First of all, the Disney film 101 Dalmatians. It's a revival, and I'm glad to say that the Walt Disney Organisation consistently revives its fine pictures over the years. And seeing 101 Dalmatians at the State Theatre is indeed quite an experience. 101 Dalmatians, I am sure, is one of the loveliest of all the cartoon features produced by the Walt Disney Organisation, and I recommend it thoroughly to parents and others who want a good film to take their children to during the school vacation. And I'm sure adults will enjoy it too. Based on a Dodie